Today on Rappler, 3 explosions rock the southern Philippines. Eight Coast Guard personnel who shot a Taiwanese fisherman face homicide charges. And records show the pork barrel queen was charged and acquitted in a graft case involving Kevlar helmets. Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. 3 explosions rocked the southern Philippines in separate incidents Wednesday. Police say suspected followers of Amiril Umrah Kato of the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters, or BIFF, bombed a bridge in Datupiang, Maguindanao around 5 p.m. The blast partially damages the bridge. No one is hurt in the incident. The blast comes just hours after the BIFF detonated an improvised explosive device along the highway in Sharif Saidona, wounding at least 7 soldiers. The BIFF is also being linked to the July 26 bombing in Cagayan de Oro City. Early Wednesday, an improvised bomb explodes in front of a radio station, WOW FM, in Midsayap, North Cotabato. Local radio station owner Rolly Sakdalan tells reporters they've been receiving reports of planned terrorist attacks in the town. The Court of Appeals and the Department of Justice received bomb threats Wednesday. Both turn out to be false alarms. The Court of Appeals Security Office gets a call from a female around 9:30 a.m. The caller said a bomb would explode at the main building. The Manila Police District Bomb Squad inspects the buildings but finds no bombs. A Court of Appeals justice says the threat was not taken lightly considering the recent bombings in Mindanao. The Justice Department also gets a bomb threat around noon. The department's located in the same area as the Court of Appeals compound. A fiscal reportedly got the information from the Philippine National Police Intelligence. The National Bureau of Investigation recommends homicide charges against 8 Philippine Coast Guard personnel involved in a Taiwanese fisherman's death. On Wednesday, the Bureau releases the probe results of the shooting incident last May. In a press conference, NBI Director Nonatus Rojas says Commanding Officer Arnold de la Cruz and 7 others should face homicide charges. In its recommendations, the NBI says the use of, quote, deadly force against a Taiwanese fishing boat had, quote, no conclusive justification.
There is no positive evidence of attempted ramming other than the short statement of the PCG. Because of this, the PCG was not able to establish that there was imminent and great threat to their lives that allows the use of firearms against the fishing boat.
The NBI also recommends charges of obstruction of justice against De La Cruz, Executive Officer Martin Bernabe, and 2 others for tampering with evidence.
They also spliced the video footages taken of the incident, cutting out vital portions of the video recording which they then presented to the NBI investigators. However, a more complete version of the video recording was eventually submitted to the NBI.
In its report, the NBI also says the incident took place, quote, without a doubt, within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. This means domestic penal laws apply to the Coast Guard personnel. Manila Economic and Cultural Office Chair Amadeo Perez earlier said the fisherman's family wanted the Philippines to issue an official apology to the Taiwanese government. The Philippine government has not acted on this request. Perez says the president instead extends his, quote, personal apology to the people of Taiwan. He adds, there are issues why our government cannot issue a formal apology. Agriculture Secretary Proceso Alcala answers allegations he was involved in the multi-million peso pork barrel scam as he confirms the extent of the graft. A whistleblower had earlier said Alcala facilitated funding for 2 dummy NGOs created by alleged syndicate mastermind Janet Lim Napoles. Alcala reveals 39 million pesos worth of politicians' pork barrel went through the Department of Agriculture and ended up with Napoles. But he denies his involvement in the anomaly. He says 83 million pesos in funds for the Napoles group passed through the Agriculture Department, but 44 million pesos was not released because of a tranche system put up by the agency to prevent irregularities. Napoles allegedly used pork barrel money for ghost projects. The woman behind the multi-million peso pork barrel scam was involved in a graft case involving the Philippine Marines. But Janet Napoles walked away scot-free. In 1998, Napoles committed to deliver 500 Kevlar helmets to the Philippine Marines in exchange for a 3.8 million peso contract. The Sandigan Bayan later found out she used her relatives to put up dubious companies to bid for the supply of the helmets. In 1999, without any delivery, the Philippine Marines paid for the helmets. But 8 months after that payment, Napoles had still not delivered the helmets. The Kevlar scandal forced the filing of malversation charges against officers and civilian suppliers in August 2001. In 2010, the Sandigan Bayan punished those who signed the contract. But Napoles was acquitted. In clearing Napoles, the court said Napoles was, quote, not one of the dealer payees in the transaction. Based on records and interviews with sources, Rappler learned the following. Similar to the pork barrel scheme, the case involved the ghost delivery of helmets, with Napoles as the final recipient of the money. Falsified documents were submitted to show proof of deliveries. Winning firms were suspected to be dummy companies of Napoles. At the time the Kevlar helmet case broke out in 1999, Napoles claimed she was an importer and dealer of various products. But in a recent television interview, Napoles said the family built its wealth on coal trading in China, Pakistan, and Indonesia from the 1990s. Taguig Mayor Lani Cayetano asks Makati Mayor Junjun Binay to be responsible in his statements about a Court of Appeals ruling that favored Makati in a boundary dispute with Taguig. On Monday, the 6th Division of the Appeals Court reverts 730 hectares of Fort Bonifacio to Makati. The area, home to a commercial hub and vote-rich barangays, accounts for a chunk of Taguig's income base. In a press conference, Cayetano says, Mayor Binay and all the lawyers in the Philippines know that it will take time for the ruling to be executory. Taguig will continue to exercise full jurisdiction over Fort Bonifacio. Cayetano says a legal team is studying the 37-page decision, but until then, it is status quo. Cayetano says the Court of Appeals decision is erroneous and says Fort Bonifacio is, quote, legally, historically, and factually part of Taguig. She adds the city government will file a motion of reconsideration before the Court of Appeals. Cinemalaya film entry Nuebe deals with the ugly sins of society, rape and incest, and a child's journey to transcend her trauma. G. Tonji reports.
I'm here at the CCP for the gala screening of the film Nuebe, directed and written by Joseph Laban, an entry to the New Breed category for Cinemalaya 2013.
Hindi ka buntis. Bukol lang yan na namaga dahil sa luna.
Inspired by a true story of rape and incest, Cinemalaya film entry Nuebe is about the life of the youngest mother recorded in Philippine history. Krista, at the age of 9, got pregnant from the sexual abuse by her own father. Director Joseph Laban first wrote this story as a TV news documentary entitled Ang Pinakabata, or The Youngest.
May mga eksena doon na hindi mo mapapakita or mabibigyan ng justice kung documentary lang. With films kasi may freedom ka talaga to express yung mga kwento na gusto mong ipalabas.
Actress Nadine Samonte found the sexual content challenging.
Actually, it's scary. So sa part ko, it's ginawa ko yon. It's because para ipakita sa tao na hindi lang ito yung nakikita natin ngayon. Ito yung mga nangyayari talaga. Yung parang
Films like Nuebe are called independent films, or indies, because these are produced without major studio backing. Nuebe actor Manny Castañeda says venues like Cinemalaya play a key role in the development of Philippine cinema.
And I think Cinemalaya is doing the right thing by keep on yearly coming up with this. The regular producers will not dare touch. Pag inuulit mo na inuulit yan, they will eventually develop the taste for such kind of films.
Women's health advocate Mai Fabros says films that delve into sensitive issues such as rape, incest, and child pregnancy make the audience think.
It just screams at us. It stares us straight to our face that this is happening. And it's happening very close to us. The society that we are shaping right now of 9-year-olds getting pregnant. And is this normal? Is this the new normal?
Acclaimed writer and director Joey Reyes is hopeful a new generation of filmmakers will continue to tackle socially relevant material.
And I get a greater joy finding the new voices, seeing the works of all these exciting young directors. I like to take that step back and to watch and be an active part of watching the real growth of Philippine cinema.
There is a movement in Philippine cinema that Cinemalaya continues to fuel. Reyes says, in Cinemalaya, you watch films and not just movies.
Pagpapatawad po ang basihan, hindi po ito matatapos.
G. Tanji, Rappler, Manila.
A group of Filipino hip-hop and R&B artists performed to raise money for kids with biliary atresia. Pia Ranyada reports.
1-year-old Chloe Gabayan goes to the hospital every week. Her bile duct is blocked, causing toxins to be released directly into her liver, which leads to liver failure. The condition is called biliary atresia, and it's fatal. To survive, Chloe needs 3 to 4 million pesos for a liver transplant. Her parents are struggling to pay mounting hospital bills.
Bali, pag every time na papasok kami sa PGH, maliit na yung 30,000 pag lalabas kami. Dahil nga sa mamahal po ng gamot, yung down payment po pagpasok sa PGH.
The situation seems hopeless, but hope comes from the unlikeliest of places. In this case, from the world of hip-hop. Pinoy Hip Hopas gathers hip-hop and R&B artists to raise funds for babies with biliary atresia. Founder Jug Ramos says the group began helping babies 4 years ago.
It started out in November of 2010. One of my former students approached me for help. I decided to gather the hip-hop community and try to raise funds, or most importantly, raise awareness about a disease like that. So then after that, certain mothers found out about it, and Hustle for Jaslyn and Hustle for Hannah came about in 2011. So this is the 4th one.
More than 20 hip-hop and R&B artists perform at Hustle for Chloe.
I want to show people here that there is heart within the hip-hop community.
It's an intimate gathering, electrified by a sense of purpose. By the end of the night, the concert was able to raise around 19,000 pesos.
Hindi namin na-expect na ganun kabilis yung magiging pag-fundraising namin. Dahil po sa mga katulad nyo na handa tumulong, kahit hindi nyo po kumikilala.
Let's give a big hand of applause for everybody for being here. Thank you guys.
Rapper Bebe Riz says Hustle for Chloe is an empowering experience.
I felt uplifted na ang hip-hop community is starting to help out those who are in need. Hindi lang yung parang, to represent yourself. It's really to help out the community.
Pia Ranyada, Rappler, Manila.
U.S. President Barack Obama confronts Russia for granting asylum to fugitive whistleblower Edward Snowden. Obama says he is disappointed by Russia's decision to grant a 1-year asylum to the former intelligence contractor who leaked details of secret U.S. surveillance programs. Washington revoked Snowden's passport and wanted him sent back to face charges of espionage over the leaks. Obama also criticizes Russia over a law criminalizing the dissemination of information about homosexuality to minors. Critics fear this could legitimize widespread discrimination. Obama says, "I have no patience for countries that try to treat gays or lesbians or transgender persons in ways that intimidate them or are harmful to them." Speaking on a late-night NBC show, Obama adds there have been times where they flip back in the Cold War thinking and in a Cold War mentality. Obama also says he will attend next month's G20 summit in St. Petersburg, but does not say whether he will meet with Putin for one-on-one talks. A massive fire shuts down Nairobi's international airport Wednesday, with flights diverted to regional cities as firefighters battle to put out the blaze in East Africa's biggest transport hub. The Kenyan National Disaster Operations Center says the airport is closed indefinitely, with thousands of passengers expected to be affected by that closure. The cause of the fire is still unknown. Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 5, the U.S. government sues Bank of America for fraud in the sale of $850 million in mortgage-backed securities ahead of the housing bust. The Justice Department's civil complaint alleges Bank of America lied to investors about the riskiness of the mortgage loans backing the securities and intentionally avoided performing adequate due diligence, leading to investor losses surpassing $100 million. The complaint says at least 23% of the mortgages in the securities were delinquent as of June 2013. A bank spokesman denies it's responsible for the losses. At number 6, police say a python kills 2 children in their sleep in eastern Canada. The 2 brothers, aged 5 and 7, were at a sleepover at a friend's apartment late Sunday. The snake apparently escaped from a pet store specializing in exotic animals located a floor below the apartment. At number 9, Apple will replace non-Apple chargers with official chargers worldwide at a discounted price of $10. The USB power adapter take-back program comes after reports a Chinese woman was electrocuted by a non-Apple charger. The replacement program begins August 16th until October 18 worldwide. To qualify, customers need to present the third-party charger and an iPhone, iPad, or iPod to an Apple retail store or authorized service provider. And at number 10, a young French nurse gains widespread attention after offering to rent her breasts to feed children of gay parents for €100 a day. The 29-year-old mother posts an advertisement on elouis.com, a website for people who wish to rent out services or products. The website owners say the young mother was vetted and is serious about her offer. The nurse reportedly received at least 10 offers. She says some of them appear serious, but most of the offers were from perverts. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. The Philippine national basketball team has a chance for the top spot in Group E of the 27th FIBA Asia Championship if they take care of business against Hong Kong. In a game earlier, Qatar held off a late rally from Chinese Taipei to secure a 71-68 victory. Qatar's win puts Gilas in great position to grab the number 1 spot in Group E and avoid an early showdown with China. Gilas Pilipinas faces Hong Kong tonight, and a win sets up a probable quarterfinals match with a less formidable but still dangerous Kazakhstan. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page. That crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories with the most votes on their mood meter. If we take a look today, these 10 stories have affected our readers the most. What an interesting day it's been. The Fort Bonifacio, Makati owns Fort Bonifacio Rules Court. You see 64% angry, 19% happy. And this is a story that was posted just a short while ago. The story of the Kevlar helmets, how Janet Napoles got away, how she was charged but acquitted in a military pork barrel, in a military scam, corruption scam. 94% angry. And the story that's gotten the most number of votes in the last 24 hours. Napoles lawyer threatens, Rappler replies. You'll see the story on our site. 82% angry, whopping. Red day today. Most people are angry. Well, that's Rappler's Newscast for today, Wednesday, August 7th, 2013. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.